Alright, today we want to start with a mandatory viewing disclaimer. We are introducing the one-time truth test protocol, which you are about to view as a diagnostic tool. This Teach Me Once protocol is not a sermon, a philosophy, a new philosophy, or a call to faith. It is a mental transformation protocol designed for human consciousness as it currently exists and operates today. We offer you a devastatingly simple test that anyone, anywhere can consider and can also go on to use. But with a warning, we strongly recommend that you watch the entire presentation, the whole video, that you get in touch with us so that we can unveil more nuances around this protocol, which is engineered to completely give you a cognitive decolonization process whereby we expose every ideology masquerading as a human necessity, especially those that are held dearest to people's hearts. This video may result in the sudden collapse of your core, long-held beliefs, culture, and spirituality. Therefore, only outcome that you are guaranteed when you use this protocol is this unexpected outcome. Once you see what this diagnostic tool reveals, you can never unsee it. Therefore, you have to proceed with caution only if you are willing to exchange the comfort of your belief for the clarity of knowing. With that having been said, let's proceed. We know that prophets, gurus, and eminent scientists all exude some air of authority which they hit us with. They say that the truth is a riddle, that we have to have a higher IQ, we have to think a little bit deeper, or that you need faith, which is a mandatory condition. And if you don't understand anything that they teach, then they say you are a failure. Therefore, today we are here to test their truth using our Teach Me Once, the one-time truth test protocol. This issue that they project their spiritual authority and scientific and knowledge authority and religious power as a truth determinant by these people is one of the biggest lies ever swallowed on earth, hook, line, and sinker by humanity. What would the result be if we use the real truth test protocol on all of these ideologies? Our diagnostic tool has a very clear asymptotic boundary, maps the fracture, and it therefore is not offering you a finality due to subjectivity and objectivity realities. The test itself shows us that if a truth needs repeating, it's no longer a truth. The truth protocol has floundered and has failed. The Teach Me Once, the one-time truth test protocol, doesn't need you to believe in it because it tests the power of necessary truth. Necessary truths are the silent, self-compelling structures of reality and the reason. They are true in every world, every dimension, every sphere, every culture, every time, every age. And for every mind, they do not need consensus, revelation, authority, or language. They are universal truth. They are self-evident. They have no condition. There are no conditions for them to be true. They are always constantly true. The examples that we want to give here are that once you come in contact with this necessary truth and unmask this universal truth, this necessary truth, it means that the silent architecture is kicked in and alerted you and given you the opportunity of meaning to understand reality. For instance, there are non-contradiction truths, and there is the truth of mortality or death. When you see a dead corpse, there is no two ways about it. Mortality has been demonstrated. There is also the reality check. For instance, a child who stretches their thumb or their finger and put it into the nice burning flame of the candle, they learn the truth at one time, not twice. The first time they are burned, they learn by experience, which means the one-time truth test protocol is kicked in through the pain sensation of fire. So the first experience that occurs only once to everyone anywhere, anytime, and it will become recognizable immediately. No repetition can repeat that first one. No cultural context can repeat that first instant. No special training can repeat and precede that first instant. So let's look at another issue here. Damning case of gods, deities, and dogma as ideology. The diagnostic too, when we put it across dogmas and doctrines and deities, its function is to identify the claims, and it uses the issue that the requirement of repetition, persuasion, cultural imprinting to sustain the deities, the dogmas as ideology themselves, and the constant desire for reinforcement is the confession and the manufacturing of reality. This is the truth about doctrine. The signature of identity, the fracture has already been shown, a repetition and the noise. It means that the claim for necessary truth here is a fallacy. Its recognition would depend on temporal lobe seizures, salvation by spiritual epiphanies, sacred texts and holy books. You need a Buddhist monk, a Christian theologian, a neuroscientist to acclimate your identity to what they are teaching. Now, that is not like mortality or death or a fire. That is indoctrination that we have just described. So religious dogma screams, makes a lot of noise. No prophet, no mystic, no scientist has produced a coherent substrate, independent description of any of their gods like Yahweh, Allah, Brahma, Trinity, which compels universal assent across varied consciousness or cultures. The silence here is damning, not of the creator, but of the necessity of the claim. Religions splinter into 4,000 plus sects, each demanding faith precisely because evidence fails. This cacophony of mutually exclusive revelations, each requiring missionary, proves the signal is too weak to compel and to push it across generations or across cultures. So they need an interpreter, which is proof that this is a lie. And the interpreter comes in to prove the racket. A priest will come to explain, a rabbi, an imam, a teacher, a prophet, which means the interpretation of religion and the interpretation of religious experience. That fact alone gives it no defense that it is a self-evident truth, just like gravity. Our tool, then, when testing religions or spiritual ideologies, finds that they may not be as we were told or as we were taught, as they are demonstrated today on the earth, but that they are just false mental colonization of your consciousness. Someone else's subjective experience, like Moses' personal encounter on a burning bush alone, Paul's vision on Damascus Road alone, with nobody to witness or to experience with him. They just saw him wriggling on the earth, on the ground. Muhammad's cave revelation, there was nobody, no mass confirmation. Plato's cave, same story. Joseph Smith's golden plates have vanished and disappeared. All these have now been installed in human minds as if the same humans that are hearing these messages have also experienced this direct knowledge that these people had. These were subjective experiences of these individuals. So you have been taught to distrust your own perception, to suppress and to defy authority, and also to fear the consequences of not believing these teachers. So it's a psychological warfare, and it's also a spiritual warfare. You have now become the defender of these authorities, which means they need you to defend them. Without you, they cannot stand. The diagnostic tool doesn't spare secular claims either. The insistence that consciousness is an emergent property of the brain, despite centuries of neuroimaging, remains a hypothesis, not an observation. It resists objective reduction, not because emergency is false, but because subjectivity is irreducible to third-person data. The insistence here is that the confession we are being forced to receive is an objective model that is being pushed as a phenomenon inside our subjective first experience need. So treating this hypothesis as a self-evident truth or necessary truth violates the nature of consciousness itself. The diagnostic tool here reveals that this too is an ideology when we treat it with our subjective, objective, and one-time truth tester. The Teach Me Once diagnostic tool has 3 categories that it looks into without deviation. The belief systems. Here's the summary. These categories are 1. Necessary truth, 2. Contingent truth, 3. Ideologies. So necessary truth, when they are tested, proves that they are the recognized on the first encounter. After that, they are silent, yet they are universal, and they are innate. They are not outside, they are innate. So necessary truth must be innate, then they pass the verdict. Contingent truth. Now, this is where evidence which we seek and try to find converges, and then it passes the tests, and either they become neutral, in other words, you have not approved them. And then we've got ideologies, which are totally, completely lies. So when we use our diagnostic power given by this tool, we are able to say, now we need to deal with ideologies, which are doctrines, which are gods, deities, spirits, and we also need to deal with contingent truth, which is what we can experiment with, which we can see, and also necessary truth, which we don't need experiments, but which we need to encounter once and for all. So before we conclude and share the final steps, we must deal with a very special case. Can the Teach Me Once diagnose the creator, the unknowable real creator, who is the only category perhaps outside the protocol's jurisdiction? It is not an entity within any known or unknown reality. It is not knowable through inference. The logical certainty is this: no human being, past or present or future or any other time, can design a tool that is capable of containing the unknowable real creator, because it fails on the category errors. And the answer we get from our tool now is that the real unknowable creator is untestable by construction, nor discriminating, nor by experiment, and cannot be specified. Therefore, it's a truth that is beyond any category. Now, the next move that you need to take is that once you realize these categories, you go then to the God lies and scientific lies, and use the Teach Me Once protocol. And then once you put the Teach Me Once protocol, it will show you that the God lies have controlled you for a long time. You eventually, if you are not careful, forget that there are someone else's subjective experience, or someone else's vision, or someone else's revelation, or someone else's mystical feeling, or someone else's experiment. These now have been installed in your mind as if they were your own direct knowledge, even if you say you have peer reviewed them. This psychological and spiritual warfare can only be found by using the one-time truth testing protocol that decolonizes your mind and it gives you a simple, brutal standard. If it needs repeating, it's not real. In this video, we have shown something that should resonate with you. Are you ready now for full demolition? If you are ready for full demolition, we want to offer you the book No More Masters, Awakened Uncreated Truth Destroys God Lies. This book is the complete framework for cognitive freedom.
Hey there! I just discovered this incredible book called No More Masters. It has really shifted my perspective.
Oh, really? What makes it so special?
It dives deep into thought-provoking concepts and critiques traditional spiritual teachings. It really resonates with where I am in my journey.
Sounds intriguing. What kind of insights does it offer?
It introduces a simple truth protocol that encourages critical thinking and consciousness exploration. You should definitely check it out.
I am sold. Where can I get it?
The mantras, hoping, repetition will make them true. You can remain in your comfortable spiritual vagueness zone, or you can embrace the third path, which is complete the destruction and the decolonization of whatever is a lie, has been proved by our tool. from even your core beliefs to intermediate beliefs and to automatic thoughts. So you need this as a thought sieve. Now, once you apply the one-time truth test ruthlessly, it will burn away every god lie, every master, every intermediary between you and your reality. It will stand you in the silence that follows being free. Yes, get this book and also read it. Now, if you think you need to learn more, do not hesitate to get in touch with us. You can send us an email that requires you, and with your questions and with all that which you need. Now, in final conclusion, now we are saying our truth testing protocol mechanism, diagnostic of belief systems, bases its measurements on 3 categories: the necessary truth, which are universal truth. They are recognized on first encounter, not second, not after repetition. They need not to be repeated. And then you've got contingent truth, and then you've got ideologies, which are lies, which fail. Now, this is where we invite you to subscribe to our channel, to like our videos, to share, and to leave a comment. And I sign off saying, I'm your manager to People's Jaraba LM Jakanja, saying, ladies and gentlemen, this protocol that we are sharing is for you. Try it and test it. Test it with everything. It's clear whether what you believe in, what you walk in, is a necessary truth. Did you recognize it on first encounter? Or it's a contingent truth? Or compromised truth? Or you're believing in ideologies, total pure lies? The choice is yours, as I have said already. Have a great day.